Hi everyone, it's Gene Calderon here with Gene Calderon Apologetics Ministries, going forward with our teaching days. Every day we have a different theme for the day that we happen to be in, and today, as we always do on Wednesdays, we like to focus on what we call Worship Wednesdays. Worship Wednesday is when we look at what does it mean to worship, how do we worship, why do we worship, who are we worshiping, and things of that sort. And so today, when we're looking at Worship Wednesday, we talked a little bit last time about the joy or the emotion that comes with that worship, and there's nothing wrong with feelings and emotions as long as we understand who or what the object of our worship, and for us that would be God alone. So unless we kind of, in a sense, wake ourselves up spiritually and be brought back into this genuine love and adoration and worship of that one true God that we know to be true, the God of the Bible, we might be missing out on experiencing His presence. We should never forget that God created us to be joyful worshipers. I know we don't always feel happy, but there should be a joy and a rest and a comfort when it comes to actually being able to worship God. The problem is that sin draws us into everything else except worship, and that becomes a huge problem. So we were restored. I mean, we're all fallen short and have sinned. And so we were restored into fellowship with God through the miracle of the birth of His one and only Son, Jesus Christ, who came and paid for the penalty of sin so that we can be reconciled with God Himself. So that should actually make us feel that we must give God our full response to that, which is the full response of our hearts, and be happy to be counted as a worshiper. Worship should always come from an inward attitude. That includes my mental, my spiritual, my emotional. That worship includes all of that. And we may not worship all the time to the same degree of the wonder and of the love, but the attitude and the state of mind should always be consistent if we are truly worshiping the Lord, worshiping God. Again, it's a lifestyle. It's not just a moment or a couple of minutes before the church sermon on Sunday morning. That if that's all the worship that you're getting, you're really missing out. Worship is just a lifestyle, and everything I do is a dedication, a sacrifice, is something that I do in order to worship my God. And so that's something we constantly have, that attitude. Even though, again, the degree of wonder and love is going to maybe fluctuating, but the attitude, the understanding that we know we are worshiping God with all of our heart, soul, strength, and our mind, that should never change. Give you an example, a husband and a father, they may not appear to love and cherish their family the entire day with the same intensity, especially if they come home and maybe they're discouraged or depressed or just tired. But the love is always there, because the love is not just a feeling. It's not just something they feel today and decide to express it. The love is constantly there. It's an attitude, it's a state of mind, and it's something that ought not change as long as we understand who we're worshiping and why we're worshiping. And that's why those two questions are so important. Who are we worshiping and why? If the object of our worship isn't consistent, then our worship will not be consistent. But when we understand who God is, again, you can check our Theology Thursdays or some of the other days. When we understand who God is and He is the source of our worship, then our worship, our attitude, our dedication to that should not change either, because He is never changing. And I hope that helps you. So again, remember, worship is not just a thing we do on Sunday mornings. I challenge you, try to find ways to worship, times to worship, but continue in the attitude of worship for the rest of your lives, starting at this moment on. So God bless you, and thank you so much for following. If you're interested in following more, you click like, hit the subscribe on the YouTube channel, on the Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all those other links. If you're interested in supporting a local missionary, which is what I am, serving at Purdue University Northwest as a missionary and an overseer there to help and train students defend their faith and know why we believe what we believe, there's a link down there. If you would like to support a missionary, we rely on those supports to be able to get through and do all that we can. Or I also serve at Freedom Church, East Chicago, Indiana. Again, Bible studies there, and right now just leading worship and things of that sort. So if you're interested in looking at that, you can click the links or come visit sometime. But I do serve all across Northwest Indiana. I do have some events coming up in late August, early September. So come and check those out if you get a chance. God bless you. Thank you so much for watching.